All right. Good Monday afternoon. I'm your host of the stream, the show, whatever you want to call it. Angel Rivera is my name, or the Handsome Cynic. I'm back with the stream on Monday afternoon, and I hope everybody had a good weekend. I had an okay weekend. I didn't really do much. I just stayed home, obsessively watching police interrogation videos, and I um I also didn't really do much else. Lead kind of a boring lifestyle. So I'm gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get on. Whoever wants to watch, of course. Then I'm gonna start. I was gonna start with the AOC story that I planned, but we have some breaking news, so I'm gonna start with that instead. We have another school shooting. So of course, there's one every day, but this one just broke. It happened about an hour ago, apparently. Yeah, let me try it again. Let me actually spit it out. Three children killed in shooting at private Christian grade school in Nashville, Tennessee. Police say the suspect is also dead. Okay. Well, that's what we're going to start off with instead of the story I initially planned. We will get to that story. It's just that, I want to start with this because this is breaking right now. So let me make sure everybody knows I'm live real quick and then we'll probably get started. Hmm. Let's see. So, hope everybody had a good weekend. Got it. So we're starting off with the school shooting in Nashville because it just broke. It literally just happened a few minutes, like an hour ago, apparently. So another grade school shooting in the United States. Is it me or do I have some kind of halo around me? It's probably because I'm sitting in front of the sun, and there's a window right here, so can't really tell. But yeah, that's what we're going to start off with today. Then I'll get to the stories that are actually in my thumbnail. But this just broke, so I'm going to start with the school shooting because it's. Let me make that bigger, actually. That's the one thing I keep forgetting to do. Make this bigger. So, yep. Jesus Christ. Another shit. There's always some kind of school shooting or just some, like, fucked up shit. It's like, why kids? Why kids? If you're gonna shoot, if you're that fucking, done with your life, just shoot yourself. Why do you feel necessary to shoot kids, of all people? If you want to kill yourself, I would prefer you kill yourself than to kill some goddamn kids. You know? It's just it's just absolutely outrageous and disgusting behavior by these insane people. Maybe I shouldn't say that part too much out loud. The KILL stuff, because that's a possible that's possibly violation YouTube's TOS. So I'll stop saying it, but it's just so frustrating. You know, it's just so goddamn frustrating. So I want to thank the two people that are watching right now for checking out my stream. It's episode 9, by the way. So all the episodes are archived in the IN YouTube channel and my own personal YouTube channel. Those links in the description box below. So please give me a like. Give the stream a like. Please subscribe. Subscribe to the INN YouTube channel and my own too. Greatly appreciate it if you haven't already. And looks like I'm gonna get started now. It's been almost 5 minutes, and I would rather just start now because because I have a chicken roasting again, and and the sooner I end this, the sooner I get through this, the better. But in all seriousness, though, I do have another chicken roasting. That's all the goddamn food pantry is giving me. So I'm dirt poor, and I have to go to pantries, and all they give is like whole chicken. So I end up roasting a bunch of them. All right, so we have another school shooting, as you guys know. It happened. Apparently, this happened an hour ago at a private Christian school in Nashville, a grade school, so elementary school, in other words. So another elementary school shooting about an hour ago. So it's a woman charges in front of live Fox News cameras after the tragic Nashville shooting and asks if they are tired of having to cover mass shootings, and asks how is this still happening? How are children still dying? Says the violence continues. Actually, I haven't seen that. I'll probably play it and then I'll give my reaction to it if I can find it. So, two adults died and three children died in this shooting. So, six people have been killed in this shooting. Let's see. Police are now reporting that at least three adults and three children were killed in the mass shooting in Covenant School in Nashville today. We don't have to live like this, and we sure as hell don't have to die like this. La la la. I know I'm supposed to tweet all day about the school shooting, blah blah blah, with kids. As just 11 other school shootings this year alone. So we basically know how this is going to turn out. Like we know what's going to happen here. The Republicans will say it's mental health. It's mental health, mental health, mental health, focus on mental health. The Democrats will obsess about guns and how take away our guns and how we need gun reform and gun regulation and all this other crap. So that's what they're going to, and nothing ever get done. Nothing will change. And a week later, another school shooting and the same thing will happen. This has been a pattern for at least 10 to 15 years in this country. At least, yeah, 10 years. It's been a pattern. So we all know how it's going to turn out. Like, we all know how this game is played by both sides here. Of course, the White House is trying to blame Republicans for this, even though Democrats haven't done anything either. So, yeah, I mean, it's both sides are responsible. Of course, Democrats would do this and blame Republicans. Republicans would do this and blame Democrats. So, and nobody be at fault. And we'll all move on within a day or two because this stuff happens every day nearly in this country. So the shooter's a 28 female, 28-year-old female. I haven't read that yet. This story literally just broke, so thank you for that. So apparently, it's a 28-year-old female. Still having you have hack Democrats, doing what they do, and Republicans doing what they do. So still having trouble wrapping my head around this. Today, three children were killed in a school shooting. Three adults too, by the way. And Republicans rushed to the defense of a gun store in Georgia. I'm going to make this point, and then This is a point I need to make. I mean, it. How do I say this? If the guns, it's like people say that a lot of people on the left says it's like the guns. If you get motherfucker with the bike. Anyways, a lot of people who blame guns, especially in the left, it's like we get rid of the guns. If we regulate guns, there'll be less shootings. Okay, here's the issue though. Would you say that about cars? I mean, you can use a car as a deadly weapon. You can use anything as a deadly weapon, really. I mean, a knife, a stapler, I'm not sure you can tie from a stapler, but um, uh, um, what else? A dumbbell, a weight, one of those dumbbell weights. You can kill somebody with that. We're not talking about regulating that and banning that, are we? I mean, the issue is the human being that uses the weapon, not the weapon itself. But I understand. I definitely think there should be some sort of gun regulation. A little bit more, not much, but But still, I mean, maybe more a background check or a psychological examination, stuff like that. I'm not trying to go further than that. Apparently, cops did shoot her. Yeah, I know the shooter's dead, but that I didn't know it was a woman until just now. So thank you for that. Officers saw a shooter female who was firing. The officers engaged her, and she was fatally shot. That's a new one. Usually, it's men that do school shootings, not women. So that's a new one. It's a new wrinkle on that. White House press secretary. Okay, here we go. This is the one I'm looking for. This is the mother who came up to actually if I did this, maybe that would help. This is the mother that stormed the Fox News report and basically talked about how many more children has to die and etc etc. So I'll play this and then I'll give my reaction. It's a minute 22 long, so let's check this out.
Aren't you guys tired of covering this? Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park. Family vacation with my son, visiting
Hello
my
there.
sister-in-law. I have been
Wait,
lobbying.
was that me or did Fox News actually cut her off there a little bit?
Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park.
It seems like Fox News cut her off. Okay.
Family vacation with my son, visiting my sister-in-law. I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken.
That's pretty naive of you to go to lawmakers and not let they're going to do anything. They're not going to do a goddamn thing. They'll blame each other. They'll do this and blame each other, and then they'll move on within a week to another mass shooting, maybe less. So it's kind of a pointless exercise to go to lawmakers and not like they're actually going to do anything. It's like, oh yeah, we promise you we'll pass some sort of gun reform. Oh shit, we didn't do anything again. Oh well, Republicans blame Republicans. It's their fault. That's what's going to happen.
In cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws. And these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers step up and pass gun safety legislation.
Well, that part's true. I mean, we do arm cartels, and we do, and fentanyl abuse. That's all true. But again, nothing's going to change. They're not going to pass any goddamn laws. They're not going to do anything. They're going to sit on their ass and just say, well, I mean, and Democrats will blame Republicans for it because, like, oh, we're in favor of it. I mean, trust me, we want to do gun reform. We want to do gun reform. It's the Republicans' fault. They're the bad guys here, not us. And Democrats will accept that and they'll move on. And then the next shooting happens, the same shit will happen again. And this woman visit more lawmakers. They'll promise her they'll do something. They won't do anything. And then she'll be shocked and chagrined, like, why are you not doing anything? How many more kids have to die? Well, the gun manufacturers don't give a shit. They don't give a goddamn how many kids die. Hell, if more people die, you know what's going to happen? More profits. More people will buy guns. More people will try to protect themselves. More people will arm themselves, and they pocket more profits. So the school shootings kind of benefit them. Unfortunately, that's how insidious our system is right now. Let me let her finish.
I'm pretty sure this was an unsecured weapon.
Hilarious. Fox News kind of like, oh shit, let me move the camera over here. We don't want to show her, so. That's probably a producer or director. Move the goddamn camera. Move the goddamn camera. Don't show the bitch. Move the goddamn camera. That's what. It's like, yes, sir. And he moved the camera.
We can't even pass gun safety, like safe storage laws in this country to protect kids from getting a hold of weapons that they shoot each other with.
Yeah. They cut her off completely now.
All right, so we're going to break away there because that reporter who was using that camera is obviously setting up to do a live report there. But the woman said it quite succinctly. Aren't you tired of this? Yes, we are tired of this.
Well, here you go. Fox News, Fox News Channel, it's like, well, I mean, yeah, we're tired of this. Honestly, I don't think the media is tired of this. The media makes money too. Whenever there's a big school shooting, what happens? They all rush to cover it. The ratings go up because, people want to see what's going on with these mass shootings. And advertisers, they could charge the advertiser more money because people are watching. It's insidious. It's all insidious. Everybody benefits. The corporate media benefits. The gun manufacturers benefit. The only people who don't benefit is the children and the people who die at these mass shootings. That's all. They're not tired of it. That's a lie there by that Fox News anchor, whoever he is. It's like, oh, we're tired of it too. Trust us. No, you're not. You're not tired of it. They profit. They get to charge the advertisers more money during these mass shootings. Advertisers will pay because they want their products or services or whatever to be seen by more people. And it's one big insidious system. And everybody benefits except for people who die and normal Americans who are every day at risk whenever we go out in public of being shot in a mass shooting. Yeah, every time I go out, it's like, am I gonna be a victim of mass shooting today? I don't know. I mean, I'll take the chance, but you know, Karen says, you know what? 3% of the gun owners are 50% of the guns. That's crazy. Well, a lot of people they're stocking up on weapons because they think the government's gonna come after them, or there's gonna be some kind of apocalypse where they're gonna need those weapons one day. Either a zombie apocalypse or some kind of world-ending event or a nuclear holocaust where they're gonna need these weapons. That's why they all hoard all these weapons. Fox and CNN is such bullshit. This week's Digest says that, and WWE is more realistic than this shit that Fox and CNN's PU, I assume you mean, which is true. I mean, yeah, I mean the WWE, the WWE, we all know they don't hide the fact that they're a show and phony and fake, whatever let's say scripted. I don't like because I don't like using the word fake because those guys and girls actually put their bodies in the line for my entertainment. But yeah, I mean, these corporate media outlets are terrible. They all benefit. They all benefit from these mass shootings. The corporate media, like I said, I'm going to reiterate it. The media, the gun manufacturers, even the government, even certain congressmen and senators who grandstand on this, Democratic side, they all grandstand on, we're going to do gun reform, we're going to do it, we're going to regulate guns more, we're going to ban assault rifles, we're going to do this, that, and the third. And when it push comes to shove, they all blame Republicans because they can't do it, or they won't fight to actually do it. So they're like, "Yep, it's Republicans' fault. We're not the bad guys. We're the good guys trying to pass this shit. It's Republicans' fault." And that's how this game we play. We go round and round and round. Another mass shooting happens, and Republicans keep threatening them. Yeah, I mean, now with the debt ceiling coming up, yeah, January 6th. Look, let's put it like this: it's all a game. The Republicans are the bad guys, the Democrats are the good guys, and they all go round and round and round. And meanwhile, when the cameras turn off, they're all best friends and butt buddies, and they all smoke the cigars together and have their little cocktail parties and drink and have their fun. And meanwhile, America is falling apart at the seams. Not only our infrastructure, but our society, and they're just sitting around. What's going on? Oh, let's fight about trans rights. Oh, let's do this. Let's fight the culture wars. This, that, and the third. They're all bad, and it's a fight between who's less bad at the time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the lesser of two evils thing. It's just insane. It's it says, yeah. I mean, it's always, well, we got to vote for a lesser evil. I mean, I'm sick of that. Me personally. Yeah, I mean, of course we're being laughed at. Other countries are laughing at us because it's like, well, nothing we can do. Ultimately, it's a lot of apathy too in America. It's a lot of apathy. Like, okay, we can't do anything about it anyway, so why bother? Meanwhile, in France, there's what's that called? A general strike where nobody's working, nobody's doing anything. The trash is piling up in Paris. There's nothing going on, and meanwhile we're sitting here arguing about cultural issues like trans rights and all this other stuff, which in the grand scheme of things really doesn't matter because this country is falling apart. And I'm not saying trans rights aren't important. What I'm saying is, we have more important things to worry about right now than the rights of less than 1% of the population. An anti-gun lobbyist just hijacked Nashville police. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the one I just showed. Brooklyn dad, hack Democrat, says another school shooting. This one in Nashville, Tennessee. 3 little children murdered. When is enough going to be enough? We're only so-called civilized nation on the planet with this ongoing problem. Can I? I'm so sick and tired of hell both parties using children as a shield, as a defense shield. I mean, here Brooklyn Dad. I mean that partisan hack basically is talking about, 3 little children dead. How many more before you pass my policy exactly the way I want it? It's just so insidious and so outrageous. And I'm not saying this Democrats, the Republicans do it too. It's just so insidious to use children as your defense shield on why your policy should be passed one way or another. It's just so insidious. It makes when you use children as part of your argument, to me, you automatically lose. I mean, it's like, why don't you actually argue your point? If you want gun reform, that's fine. That's fine. Argue your point. Don't come to me with children dying. I mean, just argue your point. Don't come to me like in light of 3 children getting killed in a school shooting. Another hack Democrat. Remember that Tennessee Republicans squandered their time in office banning drag shows under the pretense. See the culture war shit. I mean, who cares? Argue your point. Argue why we need gun reform. Don't bring up children. Don't bring up culture war shit. This is an hour ago. Christian school massacre. At least 3 children are dead. Here we go again. Bystanders capture video of children. Yeah, Biden's president, 100%. Rick says he needs tragedy porn makes ratings, creates a phony conversation about politics, and they all make money. Yeah, that's the point that I was making earlier. He's absolutely right. That's the point I was making earlier with this. I mean, tragedy sells. Tragedy sells, unfortunately, and as soon as something like this happens, either school shootings or some sort of attack on this country, everybody's gonna run and put on CNN, see what's going on. That's why CNN's ratings go up during these types of situations, because ultimately, they're the ones that are pocketing. They're the ones who CNN is like the it's like the everybody goes to CNN as soon as something happens, like either 9/11 or a school shooting or whatever. They all go to CNN. So even the other media outlets, MSNBC and Fox, they get increased ratings too. So it's everyone benefits except for the people who die in these mass shootings and Americans who are possibly future victims of mass shootings. We don't benefit, but they do. The elite benefits from this. Oh, hack Brian Krasenstein, whatever the fuck his name is. No, I won't stop politicizing Nashville school shootings. No, I won't accept your thought and prayers. No, I won't accept this is another Monday in America. No, I won't think drag queens are a big issue. No, I won't stop holding politicians accountable. What? You don't hold politicians accountable, motherfucker. You're just a Democrat. You hold Republicans accountable, but not Democrats. Bill Lee included. I don't know who Bill Lee is. No, I won't stop fighting for the children of this country's right to live and learn. No, I won't stop, and neither should you. Hack, absolute hack. He's like, oh, I hold politicians accountable. No, you don't. You hold Republicans accountable. Not going to CNN. Thank you very much. I mean, most Americans go to CNN. Not everybody does, but most Americans who don't have older Americans, especially who don't use the internet, they will go to CNN whenever it's a tragedy like this. Another school shooting, this time in Nashville. When will it end? Again, children. No, they don't. By the way, you notice they don't mention the adults. Most of these hack accounts, they don't mention the adults. There's 3 adults that died too, but nope, doesn't matter. Children dead. Let's use children for our political advantage. Just gross. It's say 3 children were killed. Meanwhile, there is no Marjorie Taylor Greene and other Republicans members of Congress defend the gun store going under federal inspection. A federal inspection for what? This is the federal law enforcement agent doing the inspections left as member of Congress begins questioning them. Members of our Georgia delegation were present for an unprecedented ATF inspection at longtime and well-respected Adventure Outdoors in Smyrna, Georgia. After I may have butchered that, but whatever. After we questioned their motives and informed them of the oversight and Republican control appropriations, they all left, protecting the Second Amendment and law-abiding businesses. Representative MTG. All right, so apparently the ATF is inspecting some random gun store at Georgia for no reason. I mean, that's what I'm getting from that. And Republicans basically went and threatened them with their appropriations and with hearings, and they all left. I mean, I'm not sure that's true. That's Margie. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her um. What am I saying? Why am I lost my train of thought? That was her version of events, at least. Good God. So, yep, I will. I'll go to. I'm going there now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened there. That was kind of weird. And my internet's not working right now for some reason. I can't even load into that. Hi, Dave Burton. Over at Rofkin, I appreciate that, Indy. I didn't, because I can't really even get on Rofkin right now for some reason, even though my internet's fine, but it won't even let me load into it. Um, but yeah, I mean, always children, children, children. What about 3 adults that died? So yeah, another tragedy, another Monday in America, unfortunately, and nothing's gonna change. This is hypocrisy of the right. Another school shooting and nothing will happen. Let's protect the kids from drag shows. Again, the drag. I don't even want to discuss that right now. That's not even important. And of course, they bring it up because they're all hacks. Multiple casualty. Yeah. So as of now, that seems to be all the reporting we have. That's all the reporting we have. And JoJo from Jers. Oh, jeez. I'm surprised she hasn't blocked me yet. Your right to own a gun does not supersede my child's right to go to school and not get shot. Well, unfortunately, the Supreme Court doesn't agree with you. The Supreme Court made it clear that that Second Amendment is basically absolute. Like, yeah, the state cannot do too much regulations on weapons, and the state cannot do anything basically to regulate guns. And but here's the thing, though. Here's the I mean, me personally, I mean, 3 children shot again. Children, children, children. There's nothing else really new. It's just the same shit. Children were shot. Pray for the children. Shove your prayers, Marsha. You and the entire Republican Party are complicit in every school shooting. It's the same political shit. You know, the people blaming each other. If my kids are ever a victim of a school shooting, I have no reason to go on living. I would take as many GOP lawmakers with me to hell as I could. Wait, what? Do you see this? He's just openly saying it. If my kids are ever victims of a school shooting, I would have no reason to go on living. I would take as many GOP lawmakers with me to hell as I could. He's just saying he's going to perpetrate another mass shooting. And that's unbelievable. How you I just came across this tweet, and this guy openly admits that, oh yeah, I mean, I'm just going to do another mass shooting myself. So I'm sure the Secret Service would reach out to him, or or Capitol Hill Police, especially if they see this tweet. So school shootings are becoming the norm. Yeah, it's been going on for 10 years at least, maybe longer. So yeah, it is the norm, and the politicians are going to do a goddamn thing to change it. 3 kids dead, this time at a Nashville mass shooting. Hold on. This thought, unless useless thoughts and prayers Republicans will not say it this time. Kids will be buried in a few weeks and we'll do this again. Yeah, we'll do this again. And unfortunately, I'll have to cover it, and say the same shit that I just said now. I'll have to repeat it. I might as well record myself and just replay it. Because I'm going to say the same thing when the next mass shooting happens. I'm going to have the same opinion. Nothing really much is going to change. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So yeah, so now it's gonna be time for me to go to the stories I actually had planned today, because there's not much else breaking right now, and I'm just repeating myself on I'm just rambling to myself now about the same stuff. So yep, let's go to the story that I actually had planned for today. It's been 40 minutes or 30 minutes since I've been streaming. Yeah. So now let's go to Miss AOC. As you guys know, she's embroiled in a controversy that she's finally being investigated by the ethics committee for her for the tax the rich dress that she took to the Met Gala a year or two ago, and now she's in trouble. Apparently, that bill never was paid, and now she's scrambling and panicking to get it paid, and she's in. And now she threw one of her staffers under the bus. Her campaign manager she fired recently because it was allegedly her fault because she didn't pay the bill, allegedly. So let's get rid of the school shooting thing, and I'm done with that because it's just nothing really breaking right now. Just I pretty much covered everything that happened. So the article from Forbes was when? Let me see. March 16th, 10 days ago. How did I miss this? Well, I got it now, so that's important. Hello, R Dynamics from France. Thank you for joining us. So you're out there in France. I'm not sure where you live exactly, but tell me about it. If you can go in the chat here and tell us what's going on out there with the general strikes and protests. I'll greatly appreciate it. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna, and then I'll feature you when you actually write it in. But yeah, we AOC searching for a new campaign manager after previous one blamed for Met Gala fiasco. Ugh. Okay. So let's read this. Let me see. Can you guys see this? No, it's way too small. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. All right. Why is this advertisement here? Whatever. So I'm going to read from the here. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez leaves the 2021 Met Gala celebrating in America, a lexicon of fashion and Metropolitan Museum of Art on September 13th, 2021 in New York City. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's her. That's her there, arrogantly with her smile. Blah, blah, blah. I can see. What is your favorite roller coaster? I don't know. I can see AOC leaving Congress in a couple of years and being a CNN as a political analyst. She's going to cash out. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's like she clearly wants to be an online influencer than to be a politician. I don't see her unless she runs for Senate or for governor of New York, but I don't see her actually being a politician much longer either. Because unless she goes directly running for president, but she's just going to fail miserably because she has no appeal outside in the Northeast and in the West Coast and California and stuff. She has no appeal to the middle of the country. She has no chance there. She'll never appeal to people in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Indiana and those states like that. She has no appeal. Michigan, she has no appeal there. So let me read some of this. Representative AOC is looking for a new campaign manager after her previous one was blamed for dropping the ball on payments related to her Met Gala appearance. That lapse led to the House Ethics Office to find a substantial reason to believe the Congresswoman violated ethics laws by accepting impermissible gifts. Oops. September 2021, the New York Democrat attended the Met Gala, famously wearing a white dress with "tax the rich" scrawled on the backside. That appearance led the nonpartisan Office of Congressional Ethics to launch an investigation. Its inquiry discovered that Ocasio-Cortez did not pay for her dress, hairstyling, makeup, and other services until after the investigation was launched, 5 months after the Met Gala. She didn't pay. She didn't pay a goddamn dime towards all that expensive services and everything. She didn't pay a goddamn dime towards that. I gotta start checking the Rofkin chat and stuff because if there's chatting here, because it doesn't end up here where I'm at, so it's kind of, I missed the Rofkin chat, so if I'm doing that, I apologize, but I actually have to remember to click in there and actually look. So she never paid her bills. She never paid anything because I'm assuming that she was expecting somebody else to pay for it. Again, that's speculation on my part, but I'm assuming there was going to be some kind of rich donor or somebody who give to just basically handle all this for her, and she didn't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for her, and now she's desperately trying to pay this $30,000+ that she might owe. The dress apparently worth $30,000 by itself, so I don't know how she's going to pay that unless her boyfriend, Wall Street boyfriend, comes and pays for it. Ocasio-Cortez told investigators she planned to personally pay for those services and had authorized her campaign manager to coordinate payments with the vendors, according to a transcript of her interview. I continue to follow up on this thing because it was stressing me out. I genuinely do not know what had happened, Ocasio-Cortez said. I had continued to get this kind of holding pattern response from her campaign manager. Who believes that? Here's the thing: if that were true, she would have been following up with her campaign manager and say, "Hey, did you pay this bitch? Did you pay this? Because if you didn't, then we have an issue. Did you pay this? Did you pay this?" Instead, they started paying this. When the ethics investigation was launched, that's when they started paying this. That's when they made some sort of effort to actually pay for these services and the dress and stuff. So that's clearly bullshit. That she had no intention of ever paying this. It's just that she got busted, and now all of a sudden, oh shit! Now I got to pay this. Hurry up, let's pay this. I just never, ever, ever would have allowed that to happen, knowing what I've learned. But I wasn't privy to the invoices, Congresswoman said. Wait a minute. That's a lot. She just contradicted herself because she just said that she was stressing out about these bills that she allegedly was stressing out about these bills that she owed and all these payments she had to make. But she didn't bother looking at the invoices, whether it was being paid or not. I wasn't privy to the invoices, so she's lying. She's lying. Either she did know about it and didn't give a shit, or she's lying that she was never privy to the invoices. She's clearly lying. So, which one is it? Like, which one is it? It's either that or she's fucking lying. So, her first campaign manager had to resign because of money problems. Looks like she fired this one. So that's two campaign managers that either had issues with financial issues. The campaign manager, who was still employed by AOC at the time of interview in May 2022, provided investigators with a similar account. The campaign manager said she didn't pay for the dress as she didn't think the invoice was final. The invoice wasn't final, really. If they send you an invoice for $30,000, I'm assuming it's final. I mean, nobody sends a provisional invoice like, hey, this can go up and this can go down any moment. So nobody does that. When you get an invoice, the price, that's the final price. It's like me getting a bill from Olive Garden after I ate. It's like, well, it's $187.19. That's the final invoice, the final bill. Could I lower it by $10? No, that's not how it works. I mean, once you get an invoice, once you get a bill, it's final and you got to pay it. She didn't pay for the hairstylist until it was threatened to file a complaint with the New York City Office of Labor Policy and Standards for Workers. So again, the hairstylist wasn't paid until the hairstylist threatened to file a complaint against AOC. That's when it was paid, conveniently. Watch this story go away. This is a good point. Watch this story go away, and because she goes even more to the right in exchange for the story to go away. She's already a war hawk, right wing war hawk these days. So, oh, and she also held the and I wasn't going to cover this because everybody else covered it, but she also held a military a conference for high schoolers to go to try to get them into the military. And AOC bold-faced lied about it and said, "No, I wasn't there." And would I do that? Would I, as a progressive, do that? No. She lied through her teeth. Hell, I mean, there are photos of her there. People saw her there, and her pictures all over the goddamn advertisement. And somehow she wasn't there, and she had nothing to do with it. Just a ridiculous, just a bull-faced lie by AOC. Let's see. And she didn't have access to the Congresswoman's personal credit card. Overall, the campaign manager said other think tanks took precedence. Oh, conveniently. Oh, yeah, by the way, I didn't have my boss's credit card, which is why I didn't bother paying the bill. I didn't ask my boss's Congresswoman, my boss for her credit card. But yeah, it just fell out the radar. Not a big deal. It's not a big deal, right? I didn't pay AOC didn't pay her bills. It's not a big deal. All right, it's like when I worked at an office for a driving school like years ago, and I handled paying all the bills for the office. So did I just ignore those bills because I didn't have access to my boss's credit card or the company credit card? Of course not. It was like, hey, look, this internet bill came in from Comcast, or who did she use? Comcast or Time Warner? Doesn't matter. Say it's Comcast. I don't really remember right now. Hey, the Comcast internet bill came in. It's I need your card, or I need I need the company card. And she would give it to me, and I would pay it, and I give it back to her. That's how it worked. I mean, I'm not gonna let bills just sit there just because I don't have a credit card and forget about it. Especially what the campaign manager said, like, "Oops, I forgot about it. I didn't ask for a credit card, and that's it. I forgot about it." That's not how it works. I've been fired. So, and whenever a bill came in, whether it was a bill for the internet or it was a cable bill or it's the same bill usually. I don't know why I said that. Or the electric bill or the water bill or whatever, I always told my boss, hey, fucking water bill came in. I didn't curse, but the water bill came in, or the electric bill came in, or etc. I need your credit. I need the company card, or let me keep the company card here so I can just pay it whenever it pops in. So we don't have to keep asking you for the card every time. So that's how that works. So this employee, this campaign manager who didn't do this, is clearly trying to cover AOC's ass. It's like, well, it's my fault because I didn't ask her for the card. So she allowing herself to be thrown on their bus to protect AOC. The campaign manager name is not included in transcripts. Excuse me. In other exhibits, included the investigation's reports that identify her as Rebecca Rodriguez. The staffer is no longer with the campaign, said the communication director Lauren Hitt in a statement, declining to explain whether the ethics investigation led to the split. Forbes was unable to reach Rodriguez for the comment. Basically, she allowed herself to be thrown under the bus by AOC in order to protect AOC, because I'm sure she's her campaign manager. She's a big supporter of AOC. So she didn't want AOC to get in trouble, so she allowed herself to be thrown under the bus. Ocasio-Cortez began looking for a campaign manager on or before February 7th, according to the first state Google index of the posting. Responsibility for a position which pays $120,000 to $165,000 a year, including partnering with the candidate to design and oversee campaign strategies, set and execute priorities, and manage a skilled team of staff, advisors, consultants, volunteers, in a community-focused, unconventional year-round campaign operation. So basically, this is basically a full-time job. This isn't like a campaign manager where he works every year or two and works every couple of years, and then once the campaign's over, he or she are done, and then they have to go somewhere else. No, apparently AOC wants to campaign full time. Even once she's reelected, she wants to campaign full time. So let's keep going. A little bit more of this story. There it is, right there. Let me see if this. Oh, this is the actual. Yeah, I already read this. So Doesn't really, her looking campaign manager doesn't matter much. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the story pretty much. So yeah, AOC is just a bum who doesn't pay her bills apparently. And then she blames her staff and throws her staff under the bus, and the staff allow it because they're big supporters of her. I love this. Rick, another great point. Uh, Not paying bills until it's absolutely necessary because she was getting in trouble. What's the difference between AOC and Trump? Nothing. I mean, Trump is famous for not paying his bills, as you guys know. I mean, he goes to small vendors for his hotels or for his golf resorts, whatever, and they would do services for him, and he would just never pay it. He just stiff them. And then eventually, if they try to sue Trump, his lawyers came, look, we'll pay a quarter of it, and then we'll call it even we'll stick you in court for years if you sue us. I mean, because Trump has unlimited access to money and lawyers, and meanwhile, if you're a small vendor, you're not gonna have much money. So you're gonna take that quarter or that half, what he owes you, and forgive the rest of the debt. I mean, Trump is famous for that. I mean, there's plenty of stories of Trump not paying his bills and screwing over, especially small vendors. That's why I always hire small vendors and small companies, small businesses, because that way he makes himself like a good guy. See, I always hire small business. I help the small business community. Oh, I never pay them. Yeah, at least I'm giving him work. Even though they don't get paid, or they get paid a quarter or half or whatever. Trump, whatever settlement they come to. So AOC and Trump, rich New Yorkers stiffing the working class, another day in the USA. True. I mean, the Rick says that. Yeah, I mean, not really the dress. The dress was made by some rich designer. So stiffing her, I don't really care about. But stiffing the makeup artist and the person who did your hair, who's definitely a man or woman, whatever, trying to make a living, who's a small business. Are you kidding me? That's just like Trump. AOC just like Trump. And trust me, I guarantee you won't hear this coverage on Kyle Kalinske or Crystal Ball or the Young Turks. None of them will ever cover it. Hell, I haven't even seen them cover the story, let alone talk about it the way I am. So let's now let's move another story of AOC. If I can find it, because I know I bookmarked in my Twitter. It's the military. Oh, I'm gonna get to Marianne Williamson too, so I'll definitely get to her and her It's. I'll get to that too. Where is it? Did I goddamn? I don't think I saved it then. I thought I did. Oh god, I have to go searching for it. The AOC video where she claims she bold-faced lies and oh no, actually no, I retweeted it. I remember now. She bold-faced lies and starts talking about how she wasn't a part of that at that high school recruitment for the military, even though her face is all over it, and she decides to and she was there. There's actually photos of her being there. Hold on, that's not it. That's not it. What's this? Oh no, okay, that's not it either. Where is it? Oh, here it is. That's it. All right, that's good. Hold on. Yeah. So it appears AOC was attacked by her own for allegedly having a military recruitment fair at a high school, causing her to run to Instagram. The clarification on her congressional high school opportunity fair did nothing more than highlight her utter ignorance on this national service academies. Having two children who've attend the service academy, one being accepted to all three military academies. By the way, both West Point and Annapolis are cities where service academies are located, not actual academies. AOC. You also don't need a nomination to apply to be accepted. Now, make no mistake, the service academies offer the sole purpose of training the next generation of military leaders, mandates a 5-year military commitment in exchange for the education. AOC tactfully leaves this out. Also, do you think those on the right were really protesting? AOC posted this video, blah blah blah. Obviously, this is a supporter of the military. You know, these high school military recruitment fairs. Where's the tweet? It's another tweet that I saw. Hold on. Blah blah blah. All right, let's go to. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this tabs. I have a million tabs and I can't find what I'm doing. Oops. Let's go back to Twitter. AOC. So yeah, AOC boldface lied talking about how I didn't go. I was not I had nothing to do with me. That conference, that military recruitment fair for kids, nothing to do with me. That was other people. Even though her face is all over it. Cisgender and often straight men are the one after your kids. Oh God, where is? Oh, this is hilarious. March 26th. No results for AOC military from Kyle Kalinske. Yeah, Kyle Kalinske is not going to cover this. He's not going to cover this story about how AOC boldface lied about the military fair that she was a part of, the military recruitment fair that she was a part of. Why in the world would he cover this? I mean, clearly he's a simp for AOC. Liberal, la, la, la. Okay. Where is that graphic that I saw last night? Did I retweet it? I hope I retweeted it because I wanted to show you the graphic, before I played the video, but should have probably pulled it up, but I didn't. I hope I retweeted it. I retweeted that one. This is from March 25th. No, I didn't retweet it. Damn. I thought I did. AOC, no. But yeah, there's a graphic on Twitter of her, of a, like a poster of her, promoting this, like, military drive, to get high schoolers to get in the military. Is this it? This isn't the exact one, but this isn't the exact one, but this is like, joined Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Adriano Espiliat, I butchered his name, but whatever, at the Student Services Fair. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Adriano Espiliat are hosting a student services fair to help students connect with the U.S. Department of Education, our U.S. Service Academy internship opportunities, and more. We will be joined, this is the key part here, we will be joined by special guests in the U.S. Naval Academy, the U.S. Air Force Academy, the U.S. Military Academy, the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, and the U.S. Department of Education, former interns and last year's winner of the Congressional App Challenge. Any questions, call the office of Allah. This number. Should call and troll that office. But, yeah, there it is. That's evidence right there. She was involved. She promoted this. And then she turns around and actually she didn't do anything. That's the same one I just showed. This is another one that I saw, which had her face all over it. And she's bragging about it. Was it her congressional account? No, this is the same one. It might have been this one. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is the one I saw. Monday, March 20th, 4 to 6 p.m., Renaissance High School Auditorium, 3000 East Tremont Street, the Bronx, New York. Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Adriano Espiliat are hosting a student services fair to the resources, blah, blah, blah. The same thing I just read. Los representantes Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez y Adriano están organizando una feria de servicios para estudiantes para presentarles los recursos disponibles, blah, blah, blah. It's the rest of it. It's in Spanish. Here it's the same thing it says on top. So I'm just reading. I'm just showing off my Spanish reading there. Nashville private school, 28-year-old woman shooter dead. Yeah, I talked about that at the beginning of the stream. It's another tragic school shooting. And Another tragic school shooting and much. So I showed you guys the evidence. She was involved in this. She was involved in this and promoted this. She acted like she didn't. She lied. This is the one I saw. Here it is. Look at her. Her face is all over it. Not only is her face all over it, her name is all over it. You see, look up here. What did I say there in the right hand corner? I can't zoom it in. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is right there in the right hand corner. So let's slow down. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, there we go. Hosted by, it says Student Services Fair, hosted by Representatives Alexander Ocasio Cortez and that guy. I'm not going to keep trying to pronounce his name. Scan the QR code below, la la la, to register. See, there's her face right there. Who's that? Who is that? Right there. It's AOC. What is she talking about? She wasn't involved in this. Is beyond me. Her name is all over it. Her picture is all over it. All the military academies all over it. U.S. Naval Academy, U.S. Air Force Academy, U.S. Military Academy, U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, U.S. Coast Guard Academy, U.S. Department of Education, as well as former congressional interns. A lot. So there it is right there. That's your evidence. She was involved in this. Now I'm going to get back to this one. Okay. Missed the first 30 minutes of the stream, then comment late 15 minutes, and neighbor came over. I appreciate, I understand that, but I appreciate that. Appreciate the stream comment. But let's see. Before I play that, I want to make sure. All right, good. So let's play this video of AOC. Whoops, wrong tab. I have so many tabs open right now that she went to Instagram to basically lie. So that's fine.
They'll just believe it. So politics is so crazy because people
Wait.
can just
Why is she doing this? Before I say anything, why is she doing this? Politics is so crazy. Why is she doing this? Like, she's trying to hide from somebody else, because she's so embarrassed she was there. She's like this, like she's trying to hide from the people, from the protesters that are there, protesting her. It's like politics. Hold on. Politics is so weird, guys, because they busted me, and it's not fair, and I don't want to I didn't want to be embarrassed this way. She's like this, like, and she has her phone here on her Instagram. Ridiculous.
just like wake up and make up whatever they want to say about you, and it'll be totally false, and people will just believe it, right? They'll just believe it. So today, someone made up a rumor that me, was hosting a military recruitment fair for high schoolers. Now, does that sound like something I would do?
No. You did do it. You did do it, sweetheart. That's the thing. You did do it. Again, I'll show you the graphic. Who is that? Who is that right there? Who is that? I mean, honestly. She's basically saying, don't believe me, don't believe your lying eyes. That's what she's saying. Her face is all over this. Her face is all over this goddamn graphic, and her name's in the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner. And somehow she wasn't involved in this, and it's a lie that she hosted this event, or she helped organize and host this event at this high school. Please. In the Bronx, too. In the Bronx. There's nothing but poor Spanish and poor black kids there. So what she's doing, and she's embarrassed by this, clearly, because or else she wouldn't be bold-faced lying about it. There she is right there. Her face is right there. Right there. Who is that? If that's not AOC, I don't know who it is then. But getting back to what she's doing is she's trying to recruit minority kids that are poor, because it's in the Bronx. And what she's doing is she's trying to get these black and minority kids and Puerto Ricans who are in the Bronx, Dominicans, to sign up for the military so they can be cannon fodder for our wars. And AOC is like, it's not me, so I don't give a shit. Yeah, of course, I'll do this fair. Oh shit, I got busted, and there's a bunch of protesters here, because she was there. There are pictures of her being there. The high schoolers are taking pictures with her and stuff. I'm not gonna look them up right now because I didn't see those photos, but allegedly there are photos of her in that building, and she snuck outside, and got in her car and ran off before any media or any protester can confront her. So that's her. That's her, and all the military right on top. All the military people that are attending, and she somehow has the nerve to bold-faced lie about it, like that wasn't her. She wasn't there.
Like, no shade to anybody, but just me. Does that sound like something I would do? No? Then basic due diligence would mean ask a follow-up question, right? Like, just because someone is like said something on Twitter and posted a screenshot, like, ask the next step is not I'm just gonna believe that and share it. The next step is let me ask a follow-up question.
If I were to call her office right now and ask about this, I guarantee you she wouldn't answer. The staffers will not answer. They won't do anything. If she wants people to ask a follow-up question, that's fine. But if I were to call her office right now, the media department, I guarantee you they would not touch this. Either I had to leave a message, or they would give me some talking point about how well it wasn't a military recruitment fair. Technically, it was a blah 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 about how the Department of Education was there, and how I mean, so I don't know why she's acting like she's gonna legitimately do a follow up question. And again, I don't need to follow up because there's this graphic out there with her name on it. It is right there in right hand corner, top right hand corner. Her name is on this, so I don't need to ask. I don't need to call her office and ask her media department to give me her talking points. Like, that's what they're gonna do. Oops, let me actually do that. I don't need to call her media department or her press secretary, whatever, to give me the talking point that, well, I mean, it was technically not a military recruitment fair. The Department of Education was there, former interns were there, and all this other stuff. But clearly, it's a military recruitment drive. It's right there. It's her fucking name on it, and she has the nerve to deny this. Like, well, I mean, technically, it wasn't. I wasn't there. I mean, don't believe your lying eyes. Believe me, don't believe your lying eyes. That's what she's saying. Absolutely ridiculous. And ask me a follow-up question, guys. Don't just believe what you read on Twitter. Ask for ask me a follow-up question. Okay, fine. If I were to look up the number of her media department and call them right now, either A, it's kind of late, it's almost 4, so they probably wouldn't pick up. But let's say if I left a message and explained, my name is Andrew Rivera. I'm from Independent News Network, and I would love to have a press person call me back and ask and give me a statement about the media, the alleged military recruitment drive AOC hosted. So I appreciate a call back at my phone number, blah blah blah, and and I would appreciate that. Nah, they wouldn't either. A, they wouldn't call me back because they don't take INN seriously, I'm sure, or B, they would call me back and give me talking points that I already know that are lies. So there's no point in really calling her office and asking a follow-up question as she wants people to do. So let me see the other videos here. These having 2 children who attended a service academy, one being accepted to all 3 military academies. Who is this guy? New York born and raised, retired NYPD detective. Oh. And the host of the Rob O'Donnell show on NEPA's largest news talk station. Senior law enforcement contributor. Okay, so he's a former cop, basically, and has a radio show now. So that's who this guy is. So, of course, he's going to be more right-wing. Both West Point and Annapolis are cities where service academies are located, not actual academies, AOC. And you don't need a nomination to apply, just be accepted.
In my job,
Okay, I really don't care about that. The rest of this really doesn't matter much. It's more, him calling out AOC for not being pro-military enough, even though she just did a fucking military recruitment drive. She just did it, like literally just did it, and somehow she's not pro-military enough. Like, spare me. I don't care about her lies. Like, it's like, well, I wasn't there. I wasn't there, guys. I swear. Even though my name's all over the poster, and my picture is there, and all these military people are supposed to be there, but it's not a military recruitment drive, guys. It's basically a career fair. Is trying to say. She's trying to claim it was like a career fair, and she wasn't nothing to do with it, even if it was. Because I've been to career fairs when I was in high school. They had military, yes, they had military, but it wasn't like drowning in military. They just basically had they had like a U.S. like they had military and had Marines. That's it. It wasn't like drowning in military, like it is today apparently in high school. And this is around the time of 2003, 2004, when I was a senior in high school, which was around the time of the surge in Iraq War, the second Iraq War. And I swear to God, and I'm not making this up, when I graduated high school and I would go to work, because I worked at a factory, not really a factory, but like a shipping and department and stuff. So I was picking up heavy boxes all day, basically. I would have this military guy driving nearly every day, stopping me, asking me to apply to the military. I swear to God. And I was a skinny 18-year-old then. And I'm like, no, I don't want to join the military. Piss off. And no, he kept harassing me and bothering me and stuff. Like, you know what? Either you stop harassing me or there's going to be an issue here. So eventually he stopped, but Jesus, I have never. It's like the worst. It was like the worst experience I've ever had. Like, there's no way I'm joining the military. But even if I did, like, it's like, oh, dude, don't worry, we're gonna pay for your education, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna help you out. But you're gonna get hooked up in the military. You know that, right? I'm like, yeah, and I'll most likely die in the middle of Iraq long before I get those benefits. So, what's the point? I don't want to die. I'm going to end up dead somewhere in some desert in Iraq. I'd be lucky if my body get brought back, or instead of being left there in the goddamn desert, rotting away. So now I want to get to whoops, that's not the right tab. Now I want to get to the other story, which is the Marianne Williamson story that I was going to cover, but I had to lead off with the school shooting because it just broke. Excuse me. All right, here we go. This is what I saw last night. And, oh no, it wasn't last night. It was Sunday night. Or Saturday night, excuse me. I am delighted to be a speaker at the South Carolina Democratic Party Black Caucus Dinner, honoring living legends and local leaders. Sunday, March 26th at 4 p.m. Wait, is this the one? No. Yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not the one I was actually looking for. I don't know why I bookmarked that one. Damn, again, I bookmarked the wrong one. Hopefully, I think I may have retweeted it though, so bear with me 1 second here. I ended up bookmarking the wrong one, of course. But I know I retweeted it. That's not the one. Where is it? This is the one. Did I? Wait a minute. Oh, I know. I know. I remember. I actually clicked that link, and that's where I got this. So I said $75 per plate to see Marianne Williamson. She's just like any other standard corporate Democrat. Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball's desperate attempt to push Williamson and Bernie Sanders 2.0 is getting more embarrassing. I'll discuss on that stream on Monday, which I think I pressed this link. That's what I saw. The $75 per plate. All right, so here's the actual event. Let me click on view details. Holy crap, it's worse than I thought it was. Wait. Like, holy crap. I'm not sure you guys can see this, but hold on. Let me. No, that's not it. Where is it? I just fucking. Go back. There it is right there. It's worse than I thought it was. So it's $100. Get rid of this too. I have so many tabs open. So it's $100 per ticket, $950 per table. $950 per table, $100 per ticket. In other words, $100 a plate. And you went on tables, $950 per table. So that's about 8 people's worth per table. I'm like, honestly, I went to Olive Garden to celebrate my nephew's birthday. I think it was not yesterday, but last Sunday. I got a ravioli chicken carbonara. It was delicious. And how much it was? $20. 20. Meanwhile, you have to pay $100 for a plate for shitty food at a political politician's rally. Unbelievable, or not rally, but a dinner to raise money for Marianne Williamson's campaign. Unbelievable. The event has ended. Yeah, no shit, it was yesterday. The Brooklyn Baptist Church Conference and Banquet Center. That's where the location was at. 4 to 6 p.m. Will there be vegetarian options? What's the dress code? Are children welcome? Is there a fee for parking? Let me see this. No parking is free. All first come, first serve. Okay, at least parking's free. Children's welcome at this event. I'm surprised. The dress code for this event is Sunday's best. We encourage church hats and tamburinis. I don't know what that even is. Yes, you will provide a vegetarian and gluten-free plate upon request. All right, at least some vegetarian options. Jesus Christ. All right, so yeah. Marianne Williamson, just like any standard politician. Angel, did you see due diligence coverage of the Marianne Williamson's behavior in the '90s? No, I did not. No, I did not, and I didn't know about it. I know who did. I know who they are, but I didn't see it. Should I see it? But yeah, that's something that would interest me. Of course, if Kyle Kalinske sees that, he's gonna melt down and start talking about what she did in the '80s, which is what I covered last week, I think, where he melted down and up the political article talking about how, oh, back in the '80s, she was a good person. She helped AIDS patients and gave them medication and comforted them while they were dying. That makes her a good person. Oh, ignored what she did in the '90s and today, but back in 2020. But yeah, I mean, she was a good person in the '80s, so you must say she must be elected president, right? That was Kyle's whole. That was his pathetic argument. Let's go back here. I'll probably end up. Oops, where is it? Okay. So now this is the other story, Marianne Williamson's story I wanted to touch on. Glenn Greenwald presses Marianne Williamson for her views on U.S.'s role in Ukraine. Marianne, I felt that any withdrawal of support until very recently would be simply to say that it's okay for there to be no more Ukraine. That wouldn't be tolerable to me. That's probably there's a typo there, but it's a 4-minute clip. That no one play this whole thing, but that's a straw man. That's a straight up straw man because Putin never had any intention of taking all of Ukraine. None. I mean, his only intention was for the Ukrainians to honor the peace deal that they had, and they never honored it, which is why he invaded. He never invaded. He never intended on taking all Ukraine and occupying it, the way we occupied Iraq and Afghanistan for 20 years. That was never the intention. So that's just a straw man what she's setting up there. Like, oh well, I mean, let's see. I felt any withdrawal of support until very recently would be simply saying that it's okay for there be no more Ukraine, and that wouldn't be tolerable to me. So that's her argument, basically. Like, oh yeah, I mean, let me strawman you and say the Russians want to occupy Ukraine for decades. That's not what happened, and that was never the intention. Oh, Karen responded to me. Yeah, they debunked Kyle Kalinski's segment. I have to watch it then because I haven't seen it. I mean, there's so many like news people and content creators that I like that I don't have time to watch all of them. So, and I like due diligence too. So I haven't had a chance to watch that video. I'll definitely check it out though, probably after the stream. So let me play this and then wrap up.
How would you have voted on that authorization for $40 billion on top of the $15 billion back in May to fuel the proxy war in Ukraine?
I think if you're going to be an anti-imperialist, you have to be an anti-imperialist whether it's an American or a Russian. And even though I don't think that the United States has had clean hands.
Again, the Russians were not being imperialist when they invaded Ukraine. Again, it's like she has the same assumption Kyle Kalinske has, but because we invade countries and we occupied them for decades, we're imperialist. But meanwhile, since the Russians invaded Ukraine, by definition, they must be imperialist. And not ignoring the last 10 years of context and ignoring the fact that they still haven't defeated the Ukrainians. They still haven't taken Zelensky out of power. Because if the Russians wanted to, within a week, they could have killed Zelensky, killed the Klitschko brothers, those arrogant pricks, and taken Ukraine, occupied it for 20 years. So she has the same assumption Kyle Kalinske has, that very simpleton mindset of, well, if we're imperialists when we invade countries and occupy them, by definition, the Russians are too, right? Ignoring the last 10 years of context. So basically, it seems like Marianne Williamson gets her politics from Kyle Kalinske, really. I mean, she has a lot of the same similar talking points he has.
Hands here regarding our relationship to NATO, regarding the Aegis missiles in Poland. I don't think any of that was a justification for this brutal dictator to make the invasion that he did. So I have felt.
Wait, Putin's a brutal dictator? Come on. Yes, he's been in power since 1999, essentially, except there was a 4-year break when Medvedev became president. And, he was the prime minister, which is essentially vice president, I think, in Russia. But other than that, I mean, to call him a dictator when he wins elections, and the United States never provided evidence that he rigs his elections. So, yes, because he wins elections and he's been around for so long, all of a sudden now he's a dictator. Imagine if here in the United States, if FDR won 4 elections consecutively, is he a dictator too? Did we question the results of those elections? Like, come on, don't be ridiculous. A dictator. And I'm sure she would bring up the fact that a lot of Putin's enemies either end up in dead or in jail. Again, that's all alleged. I mean, there's no proof that he's done anything to any of these people. But I'm sure Hal Kalinske brings that up too all the time, that, oh, well, a lot of Russian enemies and there's censorship in Russia and they do all these bad things. Yeah, we do censorship here, Kyle. Like, we're no different than the Russians in that case, in that sense.
That any withdrawal of support.
Except the difference is that the government doesn't directly do censorship here in the U.S. It's corporations acting on behalf of the government. Meanwhile, and if it's true, Russia does censorship, directly through like the government. If it's true, which is alleged, I don't know, but we definitely do censorship here in America. The difference is through Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the social media companies. They do the United States government's bidding by censoring.
Until very recently.
Censoring opinions they don't like. Let me finish my thought.
Would be simply to say that it's okay for there to be no more Ukraine. And that would be intolerable to me. But we have known, General Milley has said it, the RAND Corporation has said it, this is going to be a negotiated settlement. And I think we have a moment here where something might be happening. Xi talking to Putin, presenting some principles of possibility for a negotiated settlement. We'll see what Zelensky does and what Zelensky says about that. And I think the United States should do everything possible to support that negotiated settlement.
How about stay out of the way? Stop funding Ukraine weapons. Just stay out of the way. Let the Chinese handle peace, if that's what they're going to do. Instead, it's like, oh, well, I mean, the Chinese are trying to do peace, but in the United States should support that in every way possible. So be involved in the peace negotiations instead of staying out of it, because all we've done is finance Ukraine and finance Ukrainian Nazis and give them weapons. That's all we've done. So the idea that somehow that we're going to be involved in that, why would the Chinese even allow us to be involved in that? Yeah, the RAND Corporation. I mean, she's quoting a massive think tank in Washington who's pro-war, essentially.
And a diplomatic solution.
So the posture of the United States government is expressed by John Kirby, the former Pentagon spokesman who now works in the White House, and other U.S. officials, when asked about the potential for a ceasefire and diplomatic relations or diplomatic attempts to resolve the war, has been, we're totally opposed to any ceasefire.
Like, she's nervous there. He's like, well, I don't want to really answer this question. Rand Corporation. Carlos says Rand Corporation came up with the idea of bleeding Russia with a Ukraine quagmire. Yeah, I know, and Hillary Clinton did too. I remember she tweeted out something about that too, like, "Oh well, we need to turn Ukraine into Russia's Afghanistan." So basically, like, Afghanistan bled us for 20 years. We were there. We need to do that. And I think she may have been quoting the Rand Corporation in their tweet. So, yeah, this is the idea that the U.S. had. Okay, let's force them to invade Ukraine, and let's bleed them for 20 years or 10 years. Let's bleed them financially. Oh, it turns out that the Russians actually knew we were going to do that, and they came up with economic deals with India and China. Oh, we didn't see that coming. Putin actually outsmarted us there, and now the Russian ruble is like worth much more than the U.S. dollar is right now. Oops. Yeah, Putin outsmarted the U.S. there and NATO in the West. So let's sanction the shit out of Russia. Let's basically force them to spend all their money in Ukraine, and then the Russian people will force Putin out of power because it's his fault. Meanwhile, Putin outsmarted her. I mean, outsmarted the U.S. by doing economic deals with India and then with China. And the India deal in particular is just it's not, they don't use the petrodollar because the deal was essentially that India would buy their gas/oil from Russia, but they're not using the U.S. dollar. They're using the Russian ruble, so they're going to pay Putin with Russian rubles to strengthen the ruble, which had worked. And now it's like, oops, now what do we do now? I mean, because now basically what's happening, we're bleeding our treasury dry. We're just printing up new dollars, we're printing up new paper currency and sending it to Ukraine for them to buy weapons with it. On top of that, so all the dollars that we have, whatever amount, a little bit of money we have, it's worth less than ever been before because of inflation. So oops. So not only Putin outsmarted us, but now we're doubling down on it and making things worse here in the U.S. Glenn Greenwald went easy on her. I was surprised. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this, but I was surprised. I'm surprised too, letting her off easy so far. So I haven't. I watched this last night. I was like, oh wow, he went pretty easy on her.
We think that it would allow the Russians time to rebuild. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the United States and other NATO countries should continue to oppose a ceasefire and fuel the war? Or would you be in favor of kind of a Chinese attempt, along with the Russians and Ukrainians, to forge a ceasefire in the hope of getting a resolution to the war?
It shouldn't be John Kirby's decision. It shouldn't be.
This is where Marianne Williamson gets to be anti-war. This is the part where she flexes her anti-war credentials. Like, oh well, I mean, we obviously showed a peace, even though in the beginning interview she said, well, having a world without Ukraine would be intolerable. So which one is it? He talks out both sides of her mouth there.
Be the U.S. State Department's decision. I think we need to hear what Zelensky himself has to say. Zelensky has said that he is open, that he's interested. He wants to hear what the Chinese have to say. We know that Xi talked to Putin, but there hasn't been any report that he's talked yet, even virtually, to Zelensky. So, no, the United States should not be making that decision. The United States should be doing everything to support any possibility that's occurring here of a negotiated settlement in Ukraine.
So just to be clear in that, so many of Zelensky's statements, especially over the last 4 or 5 months, have become almost, I would say, more kind of maximalist, that he has no interest in ending that war until not only is Russia expelled from every inch of Ukrainian territory, but Crimea is wrenched out of the hands of the Russians as well, and he is willing to fight for not only months but years,
Yeah, this
if
is
necessary.
This is so. Marianne Williamson claims, well, I mean, he's open to peace negotiations and talks. No, he's not. He's made it clear that he's willing to fight to the last Ukrainian. And to last Ukrainian. I mean, that's what he's willing to do. I mean, I don't know why she's acting like he's open to peace. He isn't. Why? Because the U.S. isn't open to peace, and he's a good little puppet for the United States. So he'll do whatever the U.S. tells him to do because they're the ones giving him money. Our money is kind of going into that, and he's making himself super wealthy. In fact, didn't his wife recently spend like $100,000 in Paris? Not Paris, but London or something? It's like, where did she get that money from? All of a sudden, she's spending $100,000 on expensive clothes and purses and shoes and shit like that. Like, oh, that's interesting. So our taxpayer money is going to finance Zelensky's wife's lifestyle in London. So, just ridiculous.
In order to accomplish those war goals. So if the position of Zelensky is, we don't want to stop this war until every one of our objectives is achieved, including expelling Russia from Crimea, would that mean you would continue to just open the treasury of the United States and continue to pour unlimited sums of money for as long as Zelensky demands it?
Well, first of all, Zelensky's comments the other day are different than the ones that you just described. So, first of all, let's hear what Zelensky has to say now. And number two, no, you don't just open.
Zelensky says something different now, even though. So, yeah, we got to hear what he says first. So she's defending Zelensky there again. It's like the second time she's done it in this interview. Like, defending Zelensky, like, oh, I mean, he says something different now. He's open to peace. We swear it. So let him give a chance to let's give him a chance to actually reject peace, and then we can say that, because he's going to reject peace because we don't want peace, or the U.S. government doesn't want peace, at least.
Open up the treasury. I would never support any kind of like a blank check for this. We should be taking whatever actions will help a negotiated settlement, and I'd like it to be a negotiated settlement that does allow Ukraine to exist as a country. And there have been times when such a suggestion would not happen.
No, I get that.
No, that's a straw man. There was no intention Ukraine ever stop existing. Like, there was never any intention there for Ukraine to all of a sudden stop existing, like, and Russia fully controls Ukraine. That was never the intention. And she's strawmanning us by saying that. It's like, oh well, I mean, we still cannot allow Russia to fully control Ukraine, but that's not the intention. So that's just a lie there. She's getting ready to talk down in the Glenn Greenwald. I mean, she talks down to everybody. I swear it. Whenever I hear her talk, I hear Kyle Kalinske. She used the exact same words and the exact same talking points that he uses, especially when it comes down to Russia and Ukraine. Like, the exact same thing. I was like, holy crap. She's just repeating what Kyle says, and acting like that's like she makes her sound like a political genius or a policy wonk when it comes down to Russia and Ukraine. She sounds just like Kyle. If you put up a Kyle video recent about Russia compared to this one, she sounds just like him. It's almost the same exact wording.
I mean, what are the limits that you would impose on the U.S.'s support for Ukraine?
I think we should be open to what. So I think that we should be open to any moment when there might be the possibility of a negotiated settlement that would allow for the existence of Ukraine. And I think, and like I said,
again, that's the third time she says it, allowing for the existence of Ukraine. No, but they're going to exist no matter what. The Russians don't intend on taking Ukraine. They could have done that. If they wanted to take Ukraine, they could have done it within a week. Within a week when the war started, they already surrounded Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. They could have gone in, murdered Zelensky, murdered all the leadership, and taken power for themselves, and installed some Russian puppet if they wanted to. They couldn't do it. They didn't want to do it. That was never the intention. So again, I don't know why she's just lying there when she says that.
We might be on the verge of such a moment. That's why what's happening now with China is interesting. We live in a multipolar world now. This is not about the United States just dictating what we want all the time. There are other powers. And it's like when Macron tried to make some kind of a negotiation happen, try to broker some kind of a deal. And I'm not naive about the Chinese Communist Party, but if they have some ideas on the table here that could maybe bring a negotiated settlement closer between Zelensky and Putin, then I think the United States should say, hey, let's hear what it is and let's do what we can to support that.
Well, that's that. I mean, like, she just sounds like Kyle Kalinske. It's like, oh god. I mean, and then towards the end there, it's like, well, I don't really trust the Chinese, but nonetheless, we should hear them out and actually help them if they legitimately want peace. Why would the Chinese not want peace? I mean, if this war, recently, I think it was Poland who wanted to send uranium to Ukraine or something. And the Russians responded, we're going to put nuclear weapons next to the Ukrainian border or something like that. That happened recently. So this is escalating. This is not getting any better. And Zelensky is taking it. Oh yeah, of course we'll take any help. Like, wait, dude, you're escalating to a nuclear war. Are you a psychopath? Like, honestly, I mean, this is escalating. It's not getting better. It's escalating to a nuclear war. And today's nukes, unlike the nukes from the 1940s and World War II, you drop a couple and you're fine, and then the planet's fine. No, you drop to nuclear, even a couple of nuclear weapons, it destroys most of the planet. So the idea that this is a good idea, Zelensky is like, he's a psychopath, absolute psychopath, and there's really no reason to. It's just too much. I mean, and Marianne Williamson is just straw manning and just lying about Russia's intentions. Oh, okay, a lot of that. I already covered this. What time do I have? Yeah, I should be wrapping up now. Yeah, it's almost 4 o'clock, and I cook dinner because I'm responsible for cooking too. So I do quite a bit. So I do want to thank everyone for watching. I'll be back and get rid of that. I'll be back tomorrow around 2:15 Eastern, episode 10. We're already on episode 10 of the stream, so of the show. So I'm excited to bring you guys episode 10 tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be talking about yet. I actually have to look at it tonight, and I'll have some sort of thumbnail and what I'm going to talk about probably tonight or tomorrow morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please give me a like, subscribe to INN channel and to this channel as well, or my YouTube channel, wherever you're watching this from. Subscribe to that channel. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow afternoon. Have a great rest of your day and good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.